Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Mechanics of Poetry Season 2 final episode. That's right, episode number 19. And like with every episode in Season 2, we're looking at a poet's poems, 3 poems in particular, just reacting to them, discussing them, so that they can be enjoyed closely. And after that, we find out how to get our hands on those poems, that kind of thing. So first off, today's poet is Gwendolyn Fleischer, and I'm going to give her the chance to say whatever she likes before we bring on the first poem. So go ahead, Gwendolyn.
Hi, everybody out there with Mechanics of Poetry. My journey into writing, I've been writing all my life in spits and spurts. But it's really been about the past 6 years that I've been writing seriously. I had somebody in my life that actually encouraged me. I think that's important in the life of a writer, to have somebody that actually encourages you. And so if you don't have one, find one.
Good advice, good advice.
You know, don't be around toxic people who say everything you do is no good. Cut them out. Bye-bye. So I've been involved in Poetry Apocalypse. I've been involved in the Saturday Afternoon Poets occasionally. Been published in the Spectrum. Thank you, Don. And Lummox, Pellisford anthology, and I'm going to be in some anthologies coming out. One is called Side Eye of the Apocalypse, On the Bus, and the Ukrainian edition, and Off the Bus. So that's pretty exciting. I've been involved in Linda Neal's once a month poetry over at the Redondo Beach Public Library. She's a phenomenal published poet. And then also I've been taking a lot of classes with Jack Grapes, who's phenomenal. And
then I had the good fortune of meeting Jack Grapes back in 1986.
And he's just, during this pandemic, I mean, I've been taking, the classes like every 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I've grown so much, and that's also helped me keep my sanity during this lockdown. And deadlines are a great thing for writing.
Something to shoot for, absolutely. You need that. All right, well, I'm gonna give you a deadline right now. Get up your first poem.
All righty.
So we can get this thing really into the good stuff.
Yeah.
The poetry.
Okay, I have to apologize. I just got a new Microsoft Word on my laptop, and this is a read-only document. I don't know how it got read-only, but there you go. And so there's a few typos that I don't know how to get out of.
Okay, we'll fly with it. We'll fly. We want to enjoy the poem. Yeah.
Okay, and I've been toying with, I'm so horrible at coming up with titles for poems. I'm thinking about Blended in Eternal Grace for this first one. Like great artists study, famous paintings, poets study the works of other famous poets. And this, I was studying a Russian poet, Marina Tsvetlana. And so I was trying to copy her style. Blackberries flourish quickly on the vine. Remember how the juices flowed, anticipating sweetness of summer wine into crystal goblets freely poured. Tears run in one direction, north to south and on. River with its imperfection courses by my grave in perfect calm. Search for my marker in the pet cemetery. If you haven't brought me flowers when I'm living, don't bring them to me when I'm dead and buried, vulnerable and unforgiving. Where my Katie dog is laid to rest, beneath a shade tree too soon chopped down. In God's love, I find eternal rest. My ashes, too, their home have found. Think of me, red hair and curls, release of balloons high heavenward. Remember me on my motorbike with pearls and for all the curious things I pondered. Keep a small piece of me tucked in your soul. Let my memories fade like old tattered lace. Ashes beneath a stone in a shallow hole. My being blended with stars in eternal grace.
Thank you, Gwendolyn. Well, hey, right away, first thing I noticed is a very tight rhyme. Really holds a poem together. You don't see that in a lot of poems nowadays, so that's a good thing in this poem. It really is. But my favorite thing, oh my God, far and away, this is the fifth stanza, the one that says, think of me, red hair and curls, release of balloons high heavenward, remember me on my motorbike with pearls and for all the curious things I pondered. Wow, what a stanza. Oh my God, that is fantastic. And then so I guess that's the penultimate stanza, but even the last one too has that wonderful details that really make a poem enjoyable, right? Like, keep a small piece of me tucked in your soul, let my memories fade.
Like
old tattered lace. See, so I understand you can't edit it, don't worry. That's something, that's not a major issue. That's a typo, that's all it is, If you have the chance to type it, you'll, fix it. It's no biggie. Other than that, makes me want to read that other poet too, to see what they have, right? Because if it's like this, it must be good.
I tried to pick 3 totally different kinds of things that I wrote. So.
Oh, okay. Well, now you got me wanting to see the second one to see how different it is. So go ahead.
With the second one,
piece handy? Is it handy? The second one?
Yeah, it's just right below.
Oh, that is as handy as it gets. Okay. All right. So go ahead, take it away. Number 2.
This is a lot of absence of field, and it's called Starlight Sprinkles. A broom and dustpan have been sitting on my back porch. Cobwebs firmly attached. No actual spiders. Stay here. Spiders trap me in their walls of deceit. Carnival quacks hawk their wares, suckering all within shouting distance, spinning cotton candy dreams in purple raindrops. Greenhorn dinosaurs pushing shopping carts, and I'm undone, a debraggled mess. Dreams are faded into why bother? The question I ask often and cannot answer. Answers don't come easily or carefully in isolation. They come amidst all laundry piles, unwashed dishes, and a desk strewn with fireworks of scribbled turtles and bills. The roof leaks. There are major holes in my head. Just a mess of wet, dirty plaster on towels and carpeting. Rorschach ink blots on a dirty white t-shirt. Bats, rats, flowers, lightning bolts, open hands, happy face, a bloody knife. Sirens interrupt marshmallow pillows of dreams. I put my contacts in. I can see. I can clearly see the full moon. Stars cannot be seen through neon green rain clouds floating above into strawberry moonlit nights. City street lights, stoplights, brake lights, signs of McDonald's and freeway exits, signs of the times, signs of democracy falling, constitution shredded, fragmented thoughts that quote ellipses of fragmented mantras, repeat the lies often enough, and even gorillas believe them. Facts hide in plain sight. The moon is waning, fading fast into elliptical sunsets. Leave room for starlight sprinkles. Clear away the nonsense.
Wow. You know, that first poem was good. This poem, I like it even more. It's got a real dichotomy here of the bad and the good, and it makes me feel like maybe there's a little Jack Rape's influence on this one. Is it possible for you to go back to the start of the poem?
Sure.
There you go. There you go. Because I'm a bit of a fan of poetry that dares to be outside the standard left margin. And this one really lives up in a concrete way to its title, right? Sprinkles. And it just got my interest from the get-go, right? Because it's so visual. A broom and dustpan. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, lately I've been playing around with the visual on the page.
Yeah, oh, it's lovely. A broom and dustpan. I've been sitting on my back porch, cobwebs, firmly attached, no actual spiders. And that is something I like to think everybody can relate to. You know, it's so real. And then it takes a leap. It says, stay here, spiders trap me in their webs of deceit. Strap in, everybody, because this thing's getting really interesting. Carnival quacks hawk their wares, suckering all within shouting distance. Spinning cotton candy dreams and purple raindrops. I mean, this is great. It's got that reality and also something more than just reality, right? It's that next line is positive. I mean, I'm thinking of kids in Halloween costumes, but greenhorn dinosaurs pushing shopping carts. And I'm undone, a bedraggled mess.
No, I didn't mean it bedraggled. I meant it debraggled.
Debraggled mess, I'm sorry. So
I was trying for a bit of surrealism.
Yeah,
I was trying for a bit of surrealism.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm coming to this poem with some of the crazy things I've seen too, like those famous YouTube videos of Walmart shoppers. That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah.
Greenhorn dinosaurs. You'd see one of those in a Walmart. Yeah. But then, you know, your poem takes another interesting turn. It takes another interesting turn. And I've been saying it whenever I see it in poets' poems, the Volta. Here it's dreams are fading into why bother. Wow, what a great turn. And then you go into that, you go back into reality. You said they come amidst laundry piles, unwashed dishes, a deck strewn with fireworks, a scribbled turtles and bills. This is just fantastic. It's just, my brain is having a lot of fun with this surrealism. It really is. The roof leaks are major holes in my head. So there's your big analogy. Just a mess. At that point, I sincerely thought, wow, this is already a good poem. I'm good. But there was more. And it continued that great mixing of detail. You have the wet, dirty plaster on towels and carpeting, Rorschach ink blots on a dirty white t-shirt. I could relate to that one too. Very much. And yeah, then it goes all over: bats, rats, flowers, lightning bolts, open hands, happy face, bloody knives, turns it up, marshmallow pillows of dreams. Where could it possibly go from there? It does go somewhere. I put my context in, I can see. Oh, see, so there's another scene shift. That's hard to say. Stars cannot be seen through neon green rain clouds floating above into starry moonlit nights. So wow. I like to think any poet reading this poem is going to enjoy this poem because there's really something for everybody in this poem. From the mundane, which is signs of McDonald's, right? Who hasn't tried to write a city poem and you've seen something like that? I mean, it's just part of the territory. It really is. But you take it another step. I mean, that's what it makes me love this poem. Is it just leaps, leaps, leaps. Constitution shredded, fragmented thoughts. That quote, ellipses of fragmented mantras. I mean, wow, this is heading into Allen Ginsberg territory. I'm loving it. Repeat the lies often enough, and even gorillas believe them. Now, I actually openly laughed. I don't know if you saw me openly laugh at that line. That was fantastic. Facts hide in plain sight. Declarative statement. Boom. In case you haven't got the message, there it is. The moon is waiting, fading fast into elliptical sunsets. I'm just enjoying this poem through and through. Leave room for starlight sprinkles, clear away the nonsense. But I enjoyed reading about both the nonsense and the sense in that poem. So that's a winner. That's a winner. I hope you get that published somewhere really good.
I did too. I need to know where to, publish. So there you go.
Oh yeah. Where do you publish something like this? Right away, I thought of this would have been a great poem to enter in the Poetry Superhighway contest, but that contest ended last week. But there are also other contests coming up. So maybe you want to just keep your eyes open for those contests, because this to me is a good contest poem. That's the highest compliment I can pay to that poem. So you're very much welcome, and I'd love to see the third poem now. You say it's totally different, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this we got to see.
Okay, so this is right now I'm kind of into a poet of the Harlem Renaissance. And this was when I was reading a lot of Claude McKay.
Oh, yes, I've heard of Claude, yes.
It's called Pre-Pandemic Dancing at the Club. She sways with abandon and delight. On the floor, all work up to a fevered pitch. The band casts a spell on all this night. Girls wear sexy skirts, their men bewitch. Men watch the hips of the belly dancer move. She's in her own world, in her own groove. She's not dancing as a belly dancer, free form, all on her own. Dance floors crowded, band on a triangular stage. Copy her sensuous moves and get into my own zone. Hot licks, wild drumming, the crowd is engaged. Dancers of every shape and size let loose, bodies moving with seduction and yearning to soul music and blues.
Wow, that is different. Where do I begin? This one is also, it's tight in structure, but it feels loose in content. It's like, I'm thinking that's the theme. I have to go right with the title, Pre-Pandemic Dancing in the Club. That was, life was so free before the pandemic. We're all appreciating that now. That freedom that we had, freedom of thought, to be unhindered by some of the thoughts we still have today. I mean, I went to the market this morning and I'm looking at the people and they're all just closed up. The world has changed. But this thing is just so enjoyable, such a revelation of enjoyment. The band casts a spell on all this night. Girls wear sexy skirts, their men bewitched. Men watch the hips of the belly dancer move. She's in her own world, in her own groove. We want to go back to this world, right? She's not dancing as a belly dancer, free form on her own. See, so that's that freedom I'm loving in this poem. Dance floor is crowded, band on a triangular stage. I didn't expect that. That was interesting. Copy your sensuous moves and get into my own zone. All right, so you're in the poem now. Hot licks, wild drum in the crowd. This is just a good time. This is a good time. This is one of the reasons you write poetry, right? Things you want to remember. And this is also proof, you are proof that no poet is just one poem, Right? If anybody thinks, oh, you know, they read one poem by somebody and they sussed them up, they're wrong. They're utterly wrong. They got to read multiple poems. And you can see that people's lives are very interesting. The many things we all encounter, right? None of us are that simple. None of us. I got to just finish off the poem here because I'm enjoying it. Dancers of every shape and size let loose. Bodies moving with seduction and yearning to soul, music, and blues. Oh, yeah, I want that life back. I had that life. I used to go to the Rose, I think it's called the Rose Cafe in Pasadena. It's a club. It's a club, and it holds maybe 500 people. That place used to be packed usually, and there would be a dance floor and people dancing, having a good time. There's people sitting at tables, having wonderful meals and having drinks, and everybody's having a good time. Yeah, I want that back.
Actually, the local club I go to, there's a lot smaller, about 100 people maybe come in. But a friend of mine is a belly dancer, and she goes to those dances. And I mean, she was an internationally award-winning belly dancer, and and I would copy her moves.
I believe you, and I think it's wonderful. I believe you, and I think it's wonderful. I really do. It makes me think of, there's another poet, Kimberly Cobian, belly dancing poet. Great belly dancer, great poet, great life. Yeah, thank you for this look at your poetry. If this doesn't convince people they want more of your poetry, well, they're just not reading close enough. Which brings me to the final question, because I got to keep these episodes brief so they're easy to load up on YouTube, get them up there within an hour, you know. The big question now is, how can people get their hands on Gwendolyn Fleischer's poetry? How is that possible?
I did a self-published cut and paste chapbook.
Yeah. All right. And so when readings come back, they're slowly coming back. I mean, even on Zoom, you can tell people you have a chapbook available and people should buy it. You've mentioned earlier that you're published in Lumix, those annuals. That's a great place to be published. Spectrum, you know, I'm a little partial, but I think it's a good place to be published too, especially because we don't just publish, we also do readings. So that's something that I really can't encourage people enough to be a part of.
And Rain Dog with Lumix is not doing Lumix for a while.
Yeah, he's taking a break from it, definitely. Yeah, he's done that for a long time, longer than I've been publishing, that's for sure. I started publishing in 1998. Wow. He was already, he's been publishing for years before that. Yeah, so he did it for a long time. Being a publisher it's a labor of love, it really is, because you want people to meet people, poets to meet poets, poems to meet poems. That's what it's all about.
I'm part of Linda Singer's Poetry Apocalypse group, which is on Zoom every Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6.
Yeah. That's a good group to check out, people. It's a good group to check out. These people are really dedicated writers. Good group. It's just they have a good vibe. Good vibe, right?
Really good. And I mean, we've talked about, I mean, there's no subject that people kind of, well, should I read that subject? There's nothing. Everything is accepted. You know, and every person is accepted. We even have one poet from Nigeria in there.
Hey, he was on this series, Chubike. He's a great poet. Check out his episode 2, people, if you haven't already. All 19 episodes, because we're done with season 2. Thank you, Gwendolyn. I've got to wrap up so I can get this on YouTube and help the world see your poetry and all those other poets. We've had 19 poets. I'm so happy. We'll figure out what to do season 3 later. Take a break.
Well, right? Thank you for including me, Don.
All right, so if you take away the screen share, people can take one last look at you. There's a happy poet, people. Take a good look. Yeah, even the birds are flying over her head as we speak. Yeah. All right, thank you. I'm gonna stop that recording. How do I do that? I go.
Okay, thank you.
Then I go here.